In 1977, a 6 feet 4 inches mass monster stepped onto television screens and changed everything. Lou Ferrigno wasn't just playing the Incredible Hulk. He was the Hulk. His width made doorways look narrow. His thickness made other bodybuilders look flat. His silhouette read massive from 50 feet away, even under green body paint and terrible lighting. But what most people never understood was how he built it. This wasn't genetic luck. This was a result of a training method so brutal and time-consuming that modern bodybuilders have almost completely abandoned it. The golden era of bodybuilding produced incredible physiques, but Lou Ferrigno stood apart. While other champions talked about intensity and perfect form, Lou committed to something else. He stayed in the gym when everyone else went home. He pushed sets long after the burn became unbearable. The Lou Ferrigno training method wasn't about smarter workouts. It was about longer ones. Sessions that stretched past 2 hours, sometimes 3, grinding through volume that would break most lifters today. Modern bodybuilding emphasizes efficiency. Get in, hit your target reps, get out in 60 minutes. Lou did the opposite. He turned every session into a marathon of endless sets, controlled negatives, and obsessive pump chasing. He focused on how long his muscles stayed under tension, not just how much weight he moved. He understood something modern lifters have forgotten. Building Hulk size required spending time in the pain zone, refusing to quit when muscles screamed, training longer than felt reasonable. This is how Lou Ferrigno achieved Hulk size, using a method built on extreme volume, brutal time under tension, and marathon workouts. A method the fitness industry has abandoned for quick hacks and minimal routines. But this method worked. It built one of the most massive, iconic physiques in bodybuilding history. And you're about to understand exactly why modern lifters ignore it, and what Lou Ferrigno knew that they've forgotten. Origins of a mass monster. Lou Ferrigno was born in Brooklyn, New York in 1951. Ear infections in early childhood left him with severe hearing loss. Communication became difficult. Socializing felt impossible. Bullying followed. Lou retreated into a world of comic books and superhero fantasies, obsessing over characters like Hercules and the Hulk. These weren't just entertainment. They became blueprints. Lou saw those exaggerated physiques, massive shoulders, thick chests, arms like tree trunks, and decided he would build them in real life. This wasn't a casual hobby. This was survival. This was transformation. At 13 years old, Lou picked up his first weights in the basement gym. Simple dumbbells. Homemade equipment. Nothing fancy. But from the very beginning, something set him apart. While other kids trained for 30 or 40 minutes and quit, Lou kept going. He stayed in that basement long after everyone else left. He added more sets when the routine said stop. He pushed through burning muscles and exhaustion because quitting felt worse than pain. This was the first piece of the Lou Ferrigno training method, and it started before he even knew what bodybuilding was. He learned to train longer and harder than everyone else. He built tolerance for extended discomfort. He refused to leave the gym until his body felt completely spent. Lou's genetics helped. He was already tall as a teenager, eventually reaching 6 feet 4 inches. He had wide clavicles, long muscle bellies, and heavy bone structure. But genetics alone don't create Hulk size. Plenty of tall kids lift weights and never come close to Lou's mass. What separated Lou was his willingness to grind. Other teenagers followed magazine routines and stopped when the workout said stop. Lou used those routines as starting points, then doubled the volume. He turned 40-minute sessions into 90-minute marathons. He learned early that building superhero size required superhero effort, and that meant staying in the gym when your body begged you to leave. By his late teens, Lou was already massive compared to his peers. People noticed. Gym owners noticed. Other lifters stared. But Lou wasn't satisfied. He looked at bodybuilding magazines and saw champions like Reg Park and Arnold Schwarzenegger, and he wanted that level of development. He started training with even more obsessive focus. He added exercises. He increased sets. He extended his time under weights. The foundation was set. Lou Ferrigno would build his physique through sheer workload, through volume that felt excessive, through sessions that lasted until his muscles couldn't contract anymore. This wasn't strategy. This was war. Early bodybuilding in extreme volume. Lou entered competitive bodybuilding in the early 1970s. He studied routines from magazines, copying exercises from champions he admired. But Lou never just followed the plan. He pushed it further. A routine called for 3 sets of barbell rows. Lou did 6. The program suggested 4 sets of bench press. Lou did 8, then added flies, then added cable crossovers. He turned every workout into an endurance test. This was the second piece of the method that modern bodybuilders ignore: extreme volume. Lou didn't believe in minimal effective dose. He believed in maximum possible workload. His back days became legendary among training partners. Lou would start with T-bar rows, grinding through set after set with slow, controlled reps, then bent over barbell rows, then wide grip pull-downs, then closed grip pull-downs, then cable rows, then dumbbell rows. The sets kept coming. 20 sets, 25 sets, sometimes over 30 sets dedicated to back alone. Modern trainers would call this insane. They'd warn about overtraining in cortisol and recovery. Lou didn't care. He watched his back grow wider and thicker with every marathon session. He saw his lats spread like wings. He felt the pump expand his upper body until shirts couldn't contain him. Chest training followed the same brutal pattern. Lou would hit heavy barbell bench presses for multiple sets, focusing on controlled negatives and deep stretches, then incline presses, then dumbbell presses at different angles, then flies, dumbbell flies, cable flies, pec deck work. His chest sessions routinely exceeded 25 sets. He refused to leave until his pecs felt swollen and exhausted, pumped so full of blood they looked like armor plates. This wasn't random volume. Lou chased a specific feeling: the feeling of muscles stretched to capacity, burning from deep tissue fatigue, unable to contract fully because they were so engorged with blood. The pump became Lou's obsession. While other bodybuilders focused on lifting heavier weight or perfecting form, Lou focused on making his muscles swell. He understood something that modern science has since confirmed, but that modern lifters often ignore: time under tension and metabolic stress builds serious mass. Lou kept his muscles under load for extended periods, turning each set into a 40 to 60 second battle. His reps weren't fast and explosive. They were slow and grinding. He controlled the negative. He paused at the bottom. He squeezed at the top. Every rep added seconds of tension, and those seconds accumulated into massive workloads that most modern routines never approach. Ferrigno versus Arnold, the size rivalry. The 1975 documentary Pumping Iron captured the rivalry between Arnold Schwarzenegger and Lou Ferrigno. Arnold was a reigning Mr. Olympia, charismatic and strategic, with a perfectly balanced physique. Lou was the young challenger, massively built and hungry. The film showed their contrasting personalities, but it also revealed their contrasting training styles. This contrast highlighted the third piece of Lou's ignored method: extended time under tension with heavy weights. While Arnold trained with moderate volume and perfect form, Lou combined big weights with slow negatives and long sets. Arnold's workouts looked efficient. Lou's workouts looked like punishment. Arnold understood aesthetics. He knew exactly which muscles needed more development and which needed restraint. His training targeted weak points with surgical precision. Lou approached training differently. He wanted overwhelming size. He wanted to look huge from every angle. So he trained everything with maximum volume and extended tension. His rows weren't just about moving weight from point A to point B. They were about holding that weight in a contracted position, feeling every muscle fiber strain, lowering with agonizing control. His bench presses weren't about hitting a number. They were about keeping the weight moving for 45 seconds straight, forcing his chest to stay under load until failure. This extended time under tension with heavy weights built Lou's signature features. His upper back looked like mountain ranges, thick and wide with deep striations. His chest jutted forward like a shelf. His shoulders capped his arms with round, full deltoids that looked massive even at rest. The Hulk silhouette that would later make him famous on television was built here, in Gold's Gym, through training sessions that lasted 2 to 3 hours. While Arnold finished his workout and moved on with his day, Lou stayed behind, adding more sets, chasing deeper pumps, refusing to quit until his muscles couldn't function. The Ferrigno versus Arnold rivalry showed bodybuilding fans 2 different paths to greatness. Arnold's path was strategic, balanced, and efficient. Lou's path was brute force. It was volume stacked on volume. It was tension extended past the point of comfort. It was a willingness to suffer longer than anyone else in the gym. Arnold won the 1975 Olympia, but Lou's size impressed everyone who saw him. He looked like a different species, scaled up and thickened beyond normal proportions. That size came from his method. The method modern bodybuilders avoid because it demands too much time and too much pain. Physique breakdown and what his method built. Lou Ferrigno's competition stats told the story. 6'4", between 260 and 275 pounds on stage, sometimes pushing 295 off-season. Arms measuring 22 to 23 inches, chest measuring 58 inches, a 34-inch waist, 29-inch thighs. These numbers were extreme for the 1970s and remain impressive today. But numbers don't capture what Lou's physique actually looked like. His width was absurd. His clavicles were naturally broad, but his training widened his lats spread to inhuman proportions. Standing relaxed, his upper body formed a massive V-taper that made his waist look impossibly small. His mass wasn't just size, it was density. Lou's muscle looked solid, thick, heavy. His chest didn't just protrude, it looked like hardened plates layered over his ribcage. His arms didn't just measure big. They had that thick, full appearance from every angle, with visible separation between biceps and triceps even when relaxed. His back was a terrain of ridges and valleys, built from countless rows and pull-downs performed with slow negatives and brutal volume. This density came from a fourth piece of method, repeating key compound movements over and over with brutal consistency. Lou didn't chase novelty. Modern bodybuilders constantly rotate exercises, trying new movements to shock the muscle. Lou did the opposite. He performed the same core lifts week after week, year after year. T-bar rows, bent over rows, wide grip pull down, bench presses, incline presses, dumbbell flies, barbell curl, heavy push down. These basic movements became his foundation, and he loaded massive volume onto them. He didn't need fancy exercises or complicated programming. He needed those same big moves under tension for longer periods with insane volume, repeated until his body had no choice but to grow. This approach built thickness that modern physiques often lack. Today's bodybuilders look impressive under perfect lighting with full pumps, but many appear flat in regular conditions. Lou looked massive anywhere, under gym lights, in natural sunlight, even in terrible television lighting covered in green body paint. His muscle had depth, it had substance. This came from years of grinding through the same movements with extended time under tension, building layer upon layer of dense tissue. His physique wasn't built on shortcuts or hacks. It was built on repetition, volume, and the willingness to keep pushing when every muscle screamed for mercy. The full ignored method explained. Now the complete picture comes into focus. Lou Ferrigno built Hulk size through a method that modern bodybuilders almost universally ignore. This method had 6 core components, and together they created something that current training culture has abandoned. First, marathon training session. Lou's workouts routinely lasted 2 to 3 hours, especially for large muscle groups like back and chest. He didn't watch the clock. He didn't rush through prescribed sets to hit a time limit. He trained until the body part was completely exhausted. Modern bodybuilders aim for 60 to 75-minute sessions. They cite research about declining testosterone after 90 minutes. They talk about efficiency and optimization. Lou didn't care about efficiency. He cared about results, and his results came from spending serious time under the weights. Second, extreme volume. Lou performed 20 to 30 sets per body part regularly. Back days sometimes exceeded 40 total sets. Chest days routinely hit 25 to 30 sets. Arm days involved endless supersets of biceps and triceps work. This volume dwarfs modern minimalist programs that recommend 10 to 15 sets per muscle group per week. Lou hit that volume in a single session. He understood that volume drives growth, and he pushed volume to levels that modern recovery science says should cause overtraining. Yet he grew, he recovered, he came back stronger. Third, extended time under tension. Lou's reps weren't quick. He used 2 to 3 second negatives on almost every exercise. He controlled the weight throughout the entire range of motion. He paused in contracted positions. His sets lasted 40 to 60 seconds, sometimes longer. Modern lifters often rush through reps, focusing on moving weight rather than feeling the muscle work. Lou made every second count. He turned each set into a battle of endurance. keeping tension constant, refusing to rest at the top or bottom of movements. Fourth, pump obsession. Lou never left a muscle group until it felt completely pumped and exhausted. The pump wasn't a nice bonus. It was the goal. He'd chase that feeling of muscles swollen with blood, stretched tight against the skin, burning with metabolic waste products. Modern bodybuilders talk about the pump being just a temporary feeling with no real growth benefit. Lou knew better. He understood that the pump signals blood flow, nutrient delivery, and cell swelling that triggers growth mechanism. His obsessive pursuit of maximum pump created the thick, full muscle bellies that defined his physique. Fifth, combining heavy weight with high reps. Lou didn't just do light pump work. He used big weights while still pushing long sets. His rows were heavy. His presses were heavy. But he didn't sacrifice time under tension for load. He found weights he could control for extended sets, weights that challenged him while allowing slow negatives and full contractions. This combination, heavy but controlled, intense but extended, built both density and size. Sixth, repetition of basic movements. Lou built his physique on rows, presses, curls, and squats. He didn't need exotic exercises or complicated routines. He needed those fundamental compound movements performed with brutal consistency, week after week, month after month, year after year. He let volume and tension do the work, not novelty. Modern bodybuilders ignore this method because it's exhausting. It's extremely time-consuming. It requires mental toughness that most people don't possess. It demands patience. You can't build Hulk size in 12 weeks following this approach. It requires staying in the gym when every instinct screams to leave. It requires pushing through pump pain that makes your muscles feel like they're tearing apart. It requires showing up day after day, repeating the same brutal workouts, trusting that volume and tension will eventually create transformation. Most modern lifters would rather optimize and shortcut their way to results. Lou chose to outwork everyone instead. Hulk preparation and on-screen mass. In 1977, Lou Ferrigno was cast as the Incredible Hulk in the CBS television series. This role would define his career and cement his physique in pop culture history. The show's producers needed someone who looked genuinely massive, someone whose size would read clearly even under green body paint, heavy lighting, and loose costume pieces. They needed real muscle, not camera tricks. Lou's training method had prepared him perfectly for this challenge. The Hulk role required durability. Filming days lasted 12 to 14 hours. Lou spent hours in makeup chairs. He performed take after take of physical scenes, smashing through walls, lifting heavy props, flexing and posing in dramatic moments. His muscles had to look huge in relaxed positions because the character wasn't a bodybuilder hitting perfect poses. The Hulk was a monster, massive in natural stances. Lou's thickness and width, built through years of extreme volume training, created that monster silhouette. His shoulders were so broad, they filled the frame. His chest was so thick it jutted forward, even when he stood casually. His arms looked enormous, hanging at his sides. The marathon training sessions that built Lou's physique also gave him the endurance to handle demanding shooting schedules. His muscles weren't just show pieces. They were functional masses of dense tissue that could flex repeatedly, hold uncomfortable positions, and look impressive under any conditions. Modern bodybuilders sometimes look flat or small in casual situations because their physiques are built for peak week conditions. Depletion, carb loading, perfect lighting, full pumps. Lou's physique looked massive anywhere because it was built on real, thick muscle accumulated through years of brutal volume work. The green body paint and prosthetics used for the Hulk makeup could have hidden a smaller physique, but they couldn't hide Lou's width. They couldn't hide his thickness. When Lou stood in the doorway as a Hulk, his shoulders nearly touched both sides. When he flexed, his muscles bulged visibly even under layers of paint. When he roared and spread his arms, his lat spread created that iconic Hulk silhouette that terrified and amazed viewers. This wasn't CGI. This wasn't special effects magic. This was real muscle, built through a method that modern Hollywood stars and their trainers would never attempt. Why the method is rarely used today. Modern bodybuilding culture has moved away from Lou Ferrigno's approach. Fitness influencers promote short, efficient workouts. Social media favors quick hacks and minimal routines. The current emphasis is on smart training, not hard training. Get in, hit your prescribed sets, track your numbers, get out. Optimize recovery. Avoid overtraining. Finish your workout in 60 minutes or you're wasting time. This philosophy dominates modern gyms, and it's the opposite of everything Lou did. The reasons are practical. Modern life leaves less time for multi-hour training sessions. People have jobs, families, and responsibilities. Spending 3 hours in the gym 5 days a week isn't realistic for most people. The old-school bodybuilders of the golden era often had more flexible schedules. Many worked at gyms or made bodybuilding their primary focus. They could afford marathon training sessions. Modern lifters squeeze workouts into busy schedules, so efficiency becomes essential. The science changed too. Modern research emphasizes recovery, suggesting that more volume doesn't always equal more growth. Studies show diminishing returns after certain volume thresholds. Experts warn about cortisol elevation during extended workouts. They recommend training closer to failure with fewer sets rather than accumulating endless volume with submaximal weights. This research-driven approach has merit, but it's designed for optimal efficiency, not maximum absolute size. Lou wasn't training optimally, he was training maximally. Social media culture reinforced the shift toward minimal routines. Fitness influencers build followings by promising results with less work. 6-minute abs, 20-minute muscle builder, get shredded in 30 days. Nobody wants to hear that building Lou Ferrigno size requires 2-hour daily training sessions for years. That message doesn't get clicks or engagement. The algorithm favors quick fixes, and modern training culture reflects that bias. The tolerance for discomfort decreased. Lou's method required living in pump pain for extended periods. It required pushing through the burn when every instinct said stop. It required embracing suffering as part of the process. Modern gym culture emphasizes feeling good, listening to your body, avoiding pain. There's value in that. Avoiding injury is smart, but there's also a cost. Building extreme size sometimes requires extreme discomfort, and modern lifters generally aren't willing to pay that price. This script isn't recommending people copy Lou's method exactly. For most people, his approach would be excessive and unnecessary. But understanding his method explains why his physique looked different from modern builds. It explains why the golden era produced such thick, massive physiques. It reveals what's lost when training culture prioritizes efficiency over volume, optimization over grinding work, and comfort over extended pain tolerance. Lou Ferrigno achieved Hulk size through a method modern bodybuilders mostly ignore: brutal volume, extended time under tension, and marathon training sessions using basic heavy exercises. His physique wasn't built on genetics alone, though his height and structure helped. It wasn't built on drugs alone, though the era's less regulated approach to enhancement played a role. It was built primarily on work, on showing up day after day to grind through 2-hour back sessions, on pushing 25 sets of chest work when everyone else stopped at 12, on chasing the pump until muscles felt ready to burst, on refusing to leave the gym until the body part was completely exhausted. This commitment separated Lou from his peers. Many bodybuilders in the 1970s were massive. Many were genetically gifted. But Lou's width, thickness, and sheer size stood out even among champions. His silhouette read huge from across the room. His mass translated perfectly to television, where he became the definitive live-action superhero physique for a generation. Modern CGI can fake anything, but in 1977, the body had to be real. Lou's body was real, and it was spectacular. The method modern lifters avoid: extended time under tension, extreme volume, marathon sessions, built one of bodybuilding's most iconic physiques. Lou Ferrigno proved that commitment to brutal, time-consuming training creates results that shortcuts can't match. His approach demanded patience, mental toughness, and tolerance for pain that few possess. It required training longer than felt smart or reasonable. It required embracing the grind when everyone else looked for easier paths. But it worked. Lou Ferrigno's legacy isn't just his roles or his competition placings. It's a lesson his physique teaches, that real size, the kind that looks massive anywhere under any conditions, comes from extended work. The Lou Ferrigno Hulk size, the classic bodybuilding training methods, the golden era muscle building approach. These weren't about efficiency. They were about maximum effort sustained over time. Lou understood that building Hulk size required training like a monster. Modern bodybuilders talk about optimizing and strategizing. Lou Ferrigno just trained longer and harder than everyone else. That was the secret. That was the ignored method. And that's why, nearly 50 years later, his physique remains legendary. The forgotten art of truly long, high-tension workouts, performed with relentless consistency by a man who refused to quit when the pain started. He only quit when his muscles couldn't contract anymore. That's how you build Hulk size. That's how Lou Ferrigno did it. And that's why almost nobody trains that way anymore.